on the Pure West Facebook page right now. And of course, you can listen on the app, online, and on your smart speakers this Monday evening. And on the way between now and 9, we're going to reflect on the weekend action from across Pembrokeshire. In football, there was a big win for Goodwick in the West Wales Cup and penalty shootout success as well for Kilgetty. Defeat for Haverfordwest County on penalties in the Welsh Cup against Cardiff Met, and some league football as well. We'll look at local rugby and a successful 10k pudding run in Broadhaven. Plus, football pundits are on our festive agenda this Monday night, and Michael Duff's Swansea exit, and our Manchester City in crisis after no win in 4 matches. If they are, what does that mean for Manchester United? And our guest tonight is Pembrokeshire pro golfer Luke Harris, who will join us live for part 2. That's all to come on Pure West Sport. Let's see how everyone's doing in the studio in Haverfordwest. Gordon, how are you?
I'm okay, actually. Ben, you okay?
Yeah, I'm not bad at all. That was a good win last night for Spurs. Disappointment for Man United on Saturday, though.
Very disappointing for Man United, mate. But that's nothing new, is it? Probably next week now we'll be doing the roles reversal again. That's how it works between us.
I was out with some friends on Saturday, and I said Ten Hag might be out of a job by the end of Saturday. By the time we got home from the pub, which was quite late actually.
But he's here for a while, mate.
And still has your backing?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, fair enough.
Definitely has my backing. I tell you, who don't have my backing are some of the players. It's up to them to perform on the pitch. It's not Ten Hag's problem.
No, fair.
It's the players. They have to perform, and they're not performing to the level that they should be at. And it's as simple as that, really.
Okay. Gordon still backs Ten Hag. I thought it was important just to clarify that right from the beginning. Fraser, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just thawing out, actually, Ben, from the Broadhaven 10K on Sunday. Tom was there, rapidly warmed up in his coat, taking photos of those suffering, going past while smiling, I noticed.
You mean he didn't take part?
No. But some costumes did, mind. There was everything from nigh-on professional runners to people dressed as Christmas presents and Spider-Man. So, no, but a successful event despite the weather, brutal conditions. So, always good to enter that of sort. That was on Saturday. I was down St David's, my old club, watching them play Langham. I actually expected a closer game in tough conditions. Langham going through a tough patch at the moment, and St David's in good form, and Saints prevailed 60 points to 14. So
got to be one of the biggest wins they've had
for a long time. For a long time.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed it afterwards as well, I think.
And we heard from St David's coach, didn't we, Chris Morgan, in the first hour of the show.
Yeah.
And let's just start with the Broadhaven 10K, though. So anyone who did that and would like a mention, do stick it in the comments. Tom, as Fraser said, you were there taking photos, and I've seen the pictures on the Pure West Facebook page. And Fraser, you're absolutely right. The kind of mix, like you say, you had like club runners and some amazing costumes, Tom.
They were fantastic. A Christmas bauble was running around the place, full size, and Christmas presents, a few Santa Claus running around the place, and the scope of, as you say, those that are dressed up in their tiny short shorts and their vests, and I'm going for a time, even though they start on Harleston Hill, and the weather at 9:30 was awful. You started off in the worst conditions, but it amazes me that people turn up and make that effort.
I have to say, I was struggling on Harleston Hill. And actually, some guy in a Christmas tutu came past, and I was thinking, what is going on here? Then I looked at the back of his T-shirt, and it said something like, the Leslie first team club runner or something. Don't pretend you're here for fancy dress and allow for you've driven from Leslie from a club runner.
There's nothing I think as a runner that keeps you more grounded than being overtaken by someone in fancy dresses.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, well, it was when I looked back and saw Rudolph closing that I really put the burners on in the last couple of miles. To be honest, I wasn't having that. That was that on my conscience.
How did you go, Fraser?
Yeah, not bad, Ben. Not bad, actually. 8th place in 40:29, like you said, in very difficult weather.
Well done, mate. That's a good run.
I've done it 3 times now, so I've been 16th, 11th, and 8th, and 40.
You're working your way up, mate.
Well, if I do it every year, I think by about 50, I should be in the top 2 or 3. Just chipping away place by place. Yeah. But no, I need tough event.
You need to train a little bit harder instead of eating and drinking too much, mate.
Tough event. I'm not going to say enjoyable because I'd be lying, but a tough event and a good event as well.
Well done to everyone that did that. We should just give Joe a quick mention.
Yes, absolutely.
Joe Williams, who was on the show not so long ago, running every single day in 2023. You can confirm, Fraser and Tom, She carried that on yesterday.
Bumped into her, dressed up, running as usual, like in that, and had a long chat with her. Actually, we got some information which we'll share to help her on the Facebook page. But we'll preview it closer to the time as well. But come New Year's Eve, she'll be completing her challenge at the Haverfordwest Park Run, the specially arranged park run, midday start. And she's encouraging all friends who want to come to wear a bit of pink and come and join her. She said she'd be walking, stroke running. I wouldn't blame her if she's just walking by then, but we'll see.
Excellent. She was brilliant when she came on the show. What about local football then, Gord? Did you watch anything over the weekend?
Yeah, it was a little visit to the Obs, wasn't it, for the game of the day. Goodwick versus Hakin, and fair play. It was a good first half. It was 1-1 at first half, but second half, Goodwick really got to grips with the game really, and Hakin were struggling a little bit to keep up with them. They had a couple of goals disallowed as well. Our mate Rhys Jones as well, with one of his bullet free kicks, give him the lead. And he scored from the spot for the second one, and it was one-way traffic after that, to be honest with you. Hakin were reduced to 10 when Hayden Diamond, who just come on, was sent off, red card. So they were down to 10 men, and Rhys Darling put the icing on top of their Christmas cake by scoring 2 goals late on, and they were comfortable 5-1 winners, to be fair.
Yeah, big win for Goodwick, absolutely. Kilgetty on penalties as well at Davern Welfare Phrase made progress.
Yeah, look, we say it time and time again, and there's no reason why Pembrokeshire sides can't have a long run in this competition. And we're not just talking about Goodwick and Hakin. Kilgetty are a good cup team. They've proven that over the years. Just 2 years ago, they're in a senior cup final, going toe-to-toe with Hakin. And good to see them committing and coming through on penalties. And shame for Clarby as well.
Very unlucky, Fraser.
Unlucky to concede a late goal, but, good to see Kilgetty through. And, of course,
to be fair, Evans and Williams are top of the West Wales Premier. And, Clarbeston Road gave them a good run for their money. They went on to the 4G pitch in Haverfordwest High School where Merlin's Bridge play. They played very well, unlucky not to get the result.
And of course, Merlin's Bridge were away. That was called off.
Yes.
So there's more frustration for them having to wait. But the irony, of course, being that Goodwick and Hakin were meeting in the league again this Saturday.
Yes.
That game is now off because Goodwick and FAW trophy action. You would have fancied it. But now Hakin's got to put that behind them, because they can actually win against Kilgetty on Saturday and go 4 points clear. Albeit haven't played 2 games more. So they've got to just cast aside that cup result. It won't be easy.
They just focus on the league.
Absolutely,
absolutely. It's a bit of a cliche to say, but that's what they got left, and they're still capable of winning it.
100%.
And talking about the league, there were 2 games as well on Saturday. Milford United won, Moncton Swifts won. Morgan Picton for Milford, Ben Steele for Moncton. Nayland 2, Penna Robbins 6 in the 2 games that were played on Saturday in Division 1.
Yeah, I actually popped a marble hole. I got there just after half time, and Milford United were trailing. Ben Steele scored the opener for Moncton, as you just said, Ben. And directly from a corner, Morgan Picton managed to get the scoring touch, and there was no further goals. And that's the 3rd consecutive week that Moncton have drawn, because they played Nayland twice prior to that and drew twice. But Nayland will be very disappointing by the margin of defeat against Penna Robbins on Saturday.
Well, we were only saying last week that they actually had 3 successive draws, 2 of them with Moncton, and 1, I think, with Milford, ironically. And although they weren't winning games, those 3 points in those 3 games actually had lifted them out of the bottom 2. And you thought there was a bit more positivity there. They lose 6-2. That's a body blow.
It is a body blow. It is.
Haverfordwest County as well were involved in a penalty shootout, weren't they, against Cardiff Met? I should say in the first hour of the show today, Tom interviewed Zach Jones, actually the Bluebirds keeper. Great chat that, Tom, I thought, by the way. He was on good form, wasn't he? And he's a quality goalkeeper as well.
He's fantastic. If there's not people, and I hate to say this, but if there's not people watching him closely, I don't know what they're doing. He's been a real find of the league this season. He's appeared on Scorio's Team of the Week 3 or 4 times. Up until the weekend, he had effectively helped Haverfordwest win 4 penalty shootouts in a row. He's an outstanding talent in between the sticks.
Yeah, I love how he behaves on the line as well during penalties. Unfortunately, and when it went to pens, I thought the Bluebirds are going to do it because of their record. I thought that they'll win the shootout. Fortunately, it didn't happen. They'll be a little bit disappointed to go out of the cup, though. I think, because we said last week, didn't we, that it's one, realistically, you get a good run in, you could actually win the competition. So there'll be some frustration there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We said about it, isn't it? You can you want to perform well in league. We talk about bread and butter and that cliche, but it's trophies and cup finals and days out. That's what fans remember, and that's what they look back on in 10, 20 years' time. And you're right, the Welsh Cup is an opportunity for everyone. We keep talking about how it's a tough league. Anyone can beat anyone, and that makes the cup competition wide open. And to avoid it, the likes of TNS and at home tie against Cardiff Met, who they have beaten in ties before. Yeah, they'll be disappointed, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to listen to Tom's interview again with Zach Jones, that was in the first hour. You'll be able to get that on our website at purewestradio.com. Just before we came off air last week, we had the breaking news phrase that Swansea had sacked Michael Duff. Now, I gave him a great report when he was appointed. It just hasn't quite worked, has it? What was your reaction to that?
Initially, I was disappointed because of the backdrop of what he's working, what all Swansea managers have been working against in recent times, and I thought more time was needed. Having reflected on it and read a little bit more analysis, it does seem like that it was perhaps not quite the right fit or an odd fit. You've got a club that was that is so deep in its principles and brought in a pragmatist as a manager. Now, I had no problem bringing in Michael Duffy. He was going to get results, to be honest with you, but what seems strange to me is they appointed a manager that was actually quite far detached from what Swansea's values are, and then weren't prepared to accept him changing those values, if that makes sense. So I think a lot of owners got to be on the club here. I think they've made the wrong appointment, and that's not to say it's Michael Duff. He's got a good record. He's had success at Cheltenham and at Barnsley last season, and he's clearly a very good manager. But it just seems strange to me that the club appointed him and then expected something totally different from him. And it hasn't worked out.
Are we looking at possibly raiding Tottenham for?
I think it's all pointing towards that goal. The first approach was rejected. Tottenham are now seemingly open to a second approach that hasn't gone any further than that. But it does seem like Chris Davis. So it is the number one target, and I think Graham Potter will probably be priced out. Although I'd love him to return. So yeah. Ange Ball at Swansea.
I heard Nathan Jones was actually.
Yeah, we'll shut that down now.
Okay, as a Swansea
that's a no. Yeah.
That Cardiff fan growing up can stick to being a Cardiff fan, but no.
Did I hit a nerve there, Ben?
You may have done.
If you think there'd be reservations about Michael Duff from the start, he'd be walking into a ring of fire. I tell you.
I think though, if they're going to go for Chris Davis, who is Ange's number 2 at Tottenham, and by all accounts, good reputation, been at Swansea before under.
Has he ever managed the team? Though?
He's never managed the team.
That's what I'm a little bit.
You're going from one extreme, really, at Swansea with Duff, who's done over. I think he's done hundreds of games at Cheltenham and 4 years at Cheltenham, Barnsley as well. To Davis, who has got a good reputation, but you think, well, if he doesn't hit the ground running, he could be under pressure in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, well, if he plays Ange Ball, Ben, I'll repeat what one of my Spurs supporting friends said to me a few weeks ago. He said, look, we'll probably finish mid-table, but if we're going to be mid-table, we might as well be exciting whilst doing it. So,
Swansea have had a reputation in the past of bringing through some class managers, Brendan Rodgers, Martinez, really top quality managers. They weren't at that time, but they did their groundwork with Swansea and did really great jobs. So I'm sure the board will be looking along those lines. Graham Potter, another one as well, Fred.
Well, that's it. As much as these American owners have been maligned, and rightly so for financial reasons, they did bring Graham Potter, Steve Cooper, 2 left field appointments who went on to manage the Premier League.
Excellent appointments.
So it's not often got it wrong in that respect.
Yeah, so we have to applaud the board, really. They've just got one little thing wrong here. So hopefully Swansea will climb back up the ladder pretty soon, and we'll see a smiling face.
That's good. And actually, that's a week of reflection from Fraser, because we came off the air on Monday, and let me tell everyone watching, that wasn't his reaction to the news.
What goes off air stays off air.
I'm pleased he's measured, he's calmed down. That was a good analysis there, absolutely. All right, plenty more still to come tonight. We will mention some of the local rugby as well. Let me just quickly read this comment from Matthew. What odds on Steve Cooper being sacked after Spurs hammer Forest on Friday? Hopefully, he says. And then taking over at Swansea again, Fraser.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that suggestion.
Love that.
It's extremely unlikely. I put that diplomatically. So. He left in very acrimonious circumstances, Steve Cooper, so I couldn't imagine he'd come back, actually. But yeah, I have been waiting for that school of thought to be pitched.
I think if Steve Cooper gets sacked by Forest, I think he'll be aiming higher than Swansea, to be honest with you, because I think he's a Premier League manager, isn't he?
Well, exactly.
Chelsea.
Yeah, he wouldn't lower his standards now.
No,
would he?
I think he'll get another job in the Premier League if Forest sack him. I think
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't lower his standards then going to Swansea.
You said it, not me. Yeah.
No, don't upset the lad.
I think Cooper. I think Cooper could be in the mix for the England job at some point. I think he's.
Well, he
good.
has been involved, hasn't he? Won a World Cup with them, hasn't he?
Under 17.
Yeah.
He's got pedigree.
Never say never in football, says Matthew. I agree. You never know. And had Brendan Rodgers not gone back to Celtic, he might have got mentioned as well for it this time around. Yeah. We're going to have to take a moment. We're going to do some local rugby. We want to talk pundits as well before 9 o'clock, because that's the hot topic at the moment. So we'll do that. But next, we are going to meet Pembrokeshire pro golfer Luke Harris. In fact, I think a year to the day almost that he announced on his social media that he was going pro. He tweeted that. We will find out how that first year has gone and what is ahead in 2024 in just a sec on Pure West Sport for Monday evening.
Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors have